Welcome to the Crystal Self-Healer Podcast. I'm Corissa Weaver. On this podcast, we blend the magic of crystals with the science of psychology to help you break free from chaos, ditch the overwhelm, and master your emotions so you can have more energy, get more done, and feel better every day. Get ready to unlock your intuition and restore your true power as we cover how you can transform your life using crystals and self-awareness. Are you ready to get started? All right, let's go. There's a field of research called epigenetics that studies how genes are influenced by more than just DNA itself. It looks at chemical tags that attach to DNA and affect whether certain genes are active or inactive. This is a fascinating field, opening up new ways to understand everything from cancer to Alzheimer's. But what's especially interesting is applying this awareness to everyday experiences like stress and anxiety that may be a carryover to the experiences of your ancestors. When it comes to things in your life where, try as you might, you can't seem to shift them, maybe what you need is to heal ancestral emotional wounds that are influenced by these generational stressors. If you've been wanting to heal on a deeper level, stick around because I'm going to show you how you can change your life from the inside out to create a more peaceful, stress-free, and confident you. Let's dive in by better understanding how the trauma or stress of an ancestor impacts your life today. Since this isn't a science lesson, I'm going to keep it simple. Research conducted by Michael Skinner suggests that changes to the epigenome can be passed down through multiple generations. Research on mice has shown that the symptoms and markers can show up through 6 generations. So if your grandparents were experiencing stress around the ability to live day to day, whether that be financial struggles, food insecurity, or social unrest, you could have markers on your DNA strands that predispose you to stress. In limited data research by Isabel Mansuy, there was evidence that traumatized mice raised in an enriched environment didn't pass on symptoms of trauma to their offspring. And that's the good news. This means that these tags and chemical markers are not permanent, and you can reverse these repeating patterns. The card inspiration this week is the Hanged Man, representing the what to call in energy. There are several ways you can interpret this card, but usually it is about waiting or sacrifice. When we look at the card, you see the central figure hanging by one ankle from a tree that has been grafted to grow in a T or shape reminiscent of the cross. When we see someone hanging from a wooden structure, we often associate it with Christ on the crucifix. This is where the sacrifice interpretation comes in. And we see the central figure has the golden orb around their head, which is used in religious iconography, but it also nods to Norse mythology and the story of Odin in the tree for 40 days and nights, waiting for enlightenment. So when you're tasked with shifting patterns of experience, you are required to sacrifice habitual or knee-jerk reactions and to enlighten yourself in ways that can bring about your desired change or outcome. And with any habit or pattern change, they rarely happen with the snap of a finger. You need to wait for the practice to become so ingrained that it becomes your new baseline. What I've seen most often in my practice when clients come to me asking to heal ancestral patterns or to remove curses or hexes in their lineage is that they are experiencing a block that they can't identify or are unable to get a higher perspective of in order to find their path forward. And to this, there are 2 things I recommend for everyone looking to do the same. First, you won't always know that you're operating from within a trauma response. In the studies carried out by Mansui, they removed the traumatized ancestor from the family unit so that they could know for sure that the trauma response weren't from observational learning. One research study found that descendants of Holocaust survivors have epigenetic markers that result in a lower cortisol baseline, which can express itself as adrenal fatigue. While this research is not yet definitive and studies are ongoing, I bring this study up to illustrate that there isn't always a correlative straight line between the original traumatic experience of your ancestor and how it shows up in your life today. So here's how this applies to you here. If you were to assume your ancestors experienced trauma during World War II that has added a marker on your family's DNA, you and your offspring could be experiencing money blocks and not link that to the rationing of food or shortages experienced by your ancestors. Maybe that is a no-brainer for you, but many of you, if your ancestors weren't around for you or your parents, the natural question to ask is, why else do you think you would experience this thing, this trait? The second thing I see is when my clients want to focus or force where the trauma or healing is supposed to be. What I mean by that is if you don't exactly know the root cause of the trait or its expression, yet you want to focus the healing to be a certain thing, you will struggle to experience what you need. I had a client come to me believing she was unable to connect with her spirit guides, and she wanted to know what, if any, of her chakras were blocked. What was uncovered during her soul blueprint reading through her Akashic records was that she was blocking herself by insisting that her experience didn't match what she thought it should be. She was equating the pressure as being something wrong instead of the experience of allowing and receiving the healing, the downloads, the enrichment and enlightenment that she needed. So let's go back to the epigenetic branch of research and the work of Isabel Mansui. Her lab has been working on an expanded study to determine if environment enrichment exercised at the right time could help correct some of the alterations to DNA induced by trauma. What's left up to scientific debate is what that enrichment actually is. But I know you're here because you like crystals and tarot, and that these are the tools you want to incorporate more proficiently in your life. So the work you need to do is to relax, release, and allow. Relax into healing what needs healing right now, not necessarily what you believe it needs to be. Release expectations that healing needs to happen a certain way or present a specific outcome. And finally, allow what you need to come through. Essentially, you need to be the hanged man in the tree, sacrificing your predetermined expectations while waiting for the enlightenment to become apparent. And this will be elusive as long as you try to pigeonhole or force your healing to be something that it may not be. When you choose to change habits and behaviors linked to ancestral wounds, you get to be the cycle breaker for yourself, your ancestors, and future generations. The crystal I'm going to suggest to help you heal ancestral emotional wounds is Mahogany Obsidian, and here's why. When you need to create a sense of self-safety in order to let go of force or control, Mahogany Obsidian helps you ground and stabilize your energy body. By staying anchored and whole in your body, you can release ancestral or emotional patterns without needing to intellectually define them. Mahogany Obsidian holds the grounding and cleansing properties of black obsidian, which help with the gentle release of old energetic imprints and subconscious blocks. This process of letting go will free you from repeating emotional loops so you can establish new, healthier patterns. When shifting away from inherited narratives into more grounded, self-directed confidence, trusting in your path comes from strengthened connection to your own authority and truth. Mahogany Obsidian helps you trust your own inner timing and guidance so you can let go more freely of perceived pressure. When breaking cycles and healing ancestral emotional wounds, your broadened sense of compassion comes from integrating the shadow aspects of habits and behaviors that don't serve you. Mahogany Obsidian supports the work of acknowledging unseen influences without judgment or the need to explain. This will bring you deeper emotional balance and a more authentic experience of peace. So here's a ritual you can do with your Mahogany Obsidian that will support you to heal ancestral emotional wounds. You'll need your crystal and a few uninterrupted minutes. Holding your crystal in your non-dominant hand, gently close your eyes and bring your attention to your breath. Settle into this moment, allowing your mind to quiet and your body to relax. When you feel a sense of rooted calm, bring your mind's eye to a comforting orb of energy that emanates from your root chakra and sacral chakra. Allow this energy field to expand until it fully encompasses your entire body. Continue to breathe as you bring your attention to the sensation of being protected, supported, and held. Let this sensation seep into your body with the intention that what needs to be released leaves your energetic body with each and every exhale. Observe the sensation of feeling supported while letting go and not having to label what it is that is being healed. As you sit in this space, open yourself to the mystery while leaning in to the sensation of ease and healthy habits. Affirm silently or aloud, I am ready to heal ancestral emotional wounds and open to healthy patterns of behavior. Stay here until you feel a sense of completion, at which time gently open your eyes, place your crystal on your altar, or carry and wear it as a physical reminder of your spiritual alignment. Today's pairing of the Hanged Man with Mahogany Obsidian is from a crystal and tarot forecast inside the Charmed community. I invite you to join me in this free space where I share these readings weekly to help you align your energy and focus your week. You also get the opportunity to connect with others who are exploring their growth and creating change in their lives just like you. Join us for free. The link is in the show notes. And if you are tired of being on an emotional roller coaster, constantly juggling everything in your life, and you want to be part of a space that holds you in your healing, a space where you can feel seen, supported, and connected as you create more emotional and energetic space in your life, I would love to have you join me inside the Crystal Self-Healer Members Portal. It's where we go beyond the weekly guidance and we apply it to your life, equipping you with the tools, resources, including courses, workshops, and activations, as well as all the support to build your confidence in crystal healing and emotional self-care. Inside, you get healing sessions that help you process emotions so you can regulate your nervous system, rituals that help you anchor and direct energy, and personalized support when you're feeling stuck. Everything you need to learn how to recognize and dismantle the patterns, cycles, and loops that keep you stuck so you can achieve more ease and alignment is in the portal. Visit my website, 3charmedgems.com, or click the link in the show notes to learn more and join me. It's time to stop living at the mercy of emotional triggers and start living in spiritual integrity. The Crystal Self-Healer Members Portal is where that shift begins. Find your clarity and come home to yourself. Today's episode has been brought to you by the Hanged Man, Mahogany, Obsidian, and Epigenetics. May we all transform the wounds of our ancestors and lean into peace and well-being. Blessed be, my friends. All right, my friends, that wraps up this week's episode. Thank you for joining me here today on the Crystal Self-Healer podcast. If you haven't already, hit subscribe, leave a review, and take the What Crystal is Best for You quiz linked in the show notes. Join me again next week as we continue to demystify crystals, how your brain works, and how you can use them so you can have more energy, get more done, and feel better every day.